is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the North End Podcast, episode 254. My name is Zach Graham, your host here in the North End, joined, as always, by my good buddy. He's on record as my best friend. His name is Ian Michaud, and we call him E, sitting here on a Monday. Beautiful, victorious, going streaking here in Austin, Texas. Look, man, coming off the first comeback win of the season. Mm-hmm. So if you didn't hear it in the intro already, you're going to get to know it over the next hour or so. Vibes are high for me, man. How are you feeling?
Fucking thrilled, man. What a game last night. What a performance by these dudes, top to bottom, coaching staff. And I love the game plan. I loved how we approached this game. Loved watching these dudes go out there and execute. We had the young boys out there. We took care of business. Obviously feel absolutely incredible for fucking CJ. That was as special as it could have gotten for him. So vibes are incredibly high. My fantasy team did put up the most points in the league. And, you know what I'm saying? So that was pretty good too. But yeah, ready to talk about this, man. A lot of good stuff to talk about. I know you got a ton of juicy nuggets for us to dine on here.
Yeah. Yeah, there are certainly some nuggets. We got a lot to talk about here, so let's go ahead and get into the rest of episode 254. We're going to recap this first team victory, talk about the second team, kind of an interesting match. That weird start time led to some odd occurrences in that match. Academy update, Academy season is underway. And of course, we'll talk about everything else that has happened in the Austin FC universe between now and our last episode. Before we talk about all that, just want to remind you all listening or watching on the YouTube channel that you can support the show financially by downloading the audio versions of our episodes. So even if you're watching on the YouTube, go to your podcast app, download this episode, and then go back and watch it on the YouTube. You can go the extra mile for us, rate and review the show wherever you get your podcasts. You can toggle on auto downloads. That'll support the show going forward, and you don't have to think about it again. And if you are just watching on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. That does help us grow the podcast, and you can hit the notification bell to know when a live stream pops up or a new episode goes live. And of course, here on episode 254, hit the thumbs up, like the video, help us battle the YouTube algorithm overlords, atone for your sins, wash yourselves clean in the waters of the North End. So I don't think a ton occurred between the last episode and now, right? We were waiting on Ilya's status and Besart Sabovic, and then what call-ups are we going to get for this game? Because we knew it was going to be a non-zero amount. I also thought I was definitely leaning into Ilya not being available, nor Sabovic. You know, we talked about that on Wednesday, but kind of a pleasant surprise when the injury report comes out on Saturday, right, with Sunday Night Soccer being ours this week, or weekend rather. Ilya was available, Sabovic was out, and then of course the 6 guys that we were missing for international duty, various, to varying degrees of severity there in terms of missing those guys for first team duty. Mm-hmm. But the big surprise, man, when this lineup drops, is Mateja Djordjevic getting the start at center back. So we can talk about that. I think the rest of the lineup was the same from what I had written out. Outside of Osman was out on the right and Hader was up top. Hey. Which you said, right? So look, you put us two together, you almost get a correct lineup prediction.
You almost get a good coach.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you have on this? Because I was pretty surprised that Djordjevic could start. We said it was non-zero, but I did not think it was very likely.
I also did not think it was very likely. Obviously, we knew we were going to be hurting at the position. We've seen Guilherme fill in when we've gone 3 center back and be fine. I mean, obviously, it's not his true position, and at times he has looked poor in that spot, but he's been fine overall there. So I was surprised to see it, and also I was just about to try to look him up, but he hasn't played, right, since like February, right?
Who? Djordjevic?
Right?
No, I think it's like May, like late May. Like the end of the Euro seasons. And again, because where he was playing before, dude, like there may not be good FB ref data on him. And that could carry over to an app like a FOTMob or something like that. Because some of these leagues, they just don't have the stat providers for.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, on FOTMob, which is what I usually use, it has a July 20th game that he didn't play in, and then a February 20th game where he played 90. But regardless, it's been a very long time since he's actually played
multiple months.
Yes, which is massive to be able to come in and like you can practice as hard as you want. You can have all your guys out there in practice and you're going and you're training really hard, but nothing can simulate the real game, being out there, the adrenaline that drains your energy a little bit as you step out into the field and everything. So what a shift for the young man last night. And he impressed me. He definitely impressed me. I'll go back to Ilya. You know, I think we watched together last night with Dalt and Jonesy there and AG, but I remember at like the 70th or 75th minute, I was like, okay, so Ilya was just a decoy. Like we put him on the active roster, but he wasn't actually going to play in this game. And then seeing him get in later, I thought that was fantastic. Because back spasms can be something that can really linger, particularly for an older player like that. So that was great. You know, and we're having a conversation with Brian from North End Pirates a little bit about Robbie Taylor. And I think a lot of people are having this conversation. You know what I mean? Sure. I'm not talking to a ton of people, but like it's an interesting situation. And like, I'm going to say this. We don't know the ins and outs of Robbie Taylor's contract. We don't know the ins and outs of potential GAM having to be utilized if he hits a certain amount of games, what that looks like, contract extensions, all of these weird things that we've run into now and have become accustomed to being a fan of this league at this point. But I will say, I don't think that Robbie Taylor is excused entirely from this. If you are out there in training all the time, consistently producing, it's really not that big of a deal if you're a jerk and the coach doesn't like you, because you still got to get your job done if you're the head coach, and your job is to put the best product out there on the field. And if Robbie's just not hitting that bar, man, I don't know. And I, as of late, have definitely put Johnny under the microscope because he just doesn't bring a lot. He just really doesn't. And Robbie Taylor is a better player in that potential wing midfield position that we saw Johnny in these last two games. And for him not to get the start again, there has to be something more going on to this situation. So other than that, with the lineup, I thought Duber was fine last night. And I did like, as I wanted to see, keeping Osman at his true position and allowing one of the guys who aren't routine starters to go ahead and take that 9 spot from Mirtu. So I thought that was, I liked it.
Yeah, I think Nico also, or Coach Estevez, since we have, there's multiple Nicos out here right now. In his pregame interview, right, because Sunday Night Soccer, they've got their whole pregame show and stuff for the marquee game of the night. And Coach told them that O'Brien had played some center forward for him in Dallas. So he was like, I know he can do it, yada, yada. And I was like, well, how were the results for those, Nico? But, look, and to Jader's credit, like, I don't think he put his stamp on the game. But I don't think there was many moments in this one where I was like, oh, Jader, which like I have had those moments this season plenty of times.
Totally agree.
So getting into this one, I guess on the SKC side, man, like they kind of ran out their first choice 11 with the guys that they have available. Eric Tommy on the bench as we expected, and he does make his appearance later on as we kind of prognosticated on Wednesday. So let's pick this one up in the 4th minute. And the first thing we're looking at right through these opening moments of the game is how is Austin aligned, right? Where, especially trying to eye Johnny G up that left side, and is he dropping back into a 5? Or are we more 4-4-2? And at the start, I think it was very much a back 5. And just like we saw against San Jose, I think the first 10 to 15 minutes are disorganized and disjointed at the back when we're trying to play with 5, because it's not what we do game in and game out.
No, it has not looked good. It is disorganized is the right way to describe it. Guys really don't know their responsibilities. They're taking up the same space, and it's just creating overlaps, which creates situations in the center of the pitch where guys are making runs and there's free runners. And like the 5-back, yes, while you would think obviously intuitively that 5 guys back there, you're going to be a more stout defensive unit, but like it's porous back there when he shifts back and pushes Guilherme in.
Well, I think to be fair to the unit that was out there last night, we also have to recognize that with Djordjevic out there, not only are you playing a kind of a new alignment, right? Or not a new alignment, but one that you don't employ as frequently as just your typical 4-back look. that you have a new guy out there who, he's playing his first game with all of these guys. And like, especially on the pen here that leads to the opening goal, like you can see the miscommunication between him and BHI and Owen, right? And Dessler out wide.
Yep.
So again, it's something to build on here. And Austin was not completely toothless in the opening moments, because here in the 4th minute, it is a long ball over the top from Heinzike in the direction of Bukhari, and he brings it down with a soft touch and advances towards the 18-yard box before mixing his defender, and then he cuts towards the end line. And as he darts towards that end line, he puts in a cross that is headed away towards the top of the 18, where Jake Davis fouls Owen Wolff, and it's very early. This may have been the first foul call of the match, but Davis, that's a high boot into Owen. And I thought a yellow could have come out there. Not too upset about it. Just think it could have. And I think that kind of set the tone on the night. And then you get this free kick, man. And I don't think we have a great option.
No.
With the guys we have out. Because I think after Mirtu, right, with no BV.
Yep.
To me, I think it's Mirtu then. And then out of the guys that are available, I know he hasn't put one in the back of the net this year, but I think Besard Savovic has a pretty good, pretty threatening free kick ability. So we do get Diego Rubio as him and Osman who lined up over it, and Buka runs off with the fake, and then Diego takes the kick, and I mean, he sends it right into the stands there. I guess also there was a ray of sunlight right where the free kick was being taken at this point. So like he didn't have the best vision there at the same time, but not his best attempt.
I mean, look, like you mentioned, right? Like we're without our top guy on these set pieces in BV. We're without Mirtu, which would I think I'd have him too as well. And I thought that the play from the last game where we had a free kick in a similar spot, you did a short little pass and set something up with like a back heel to Mirtu or to Diego, was a nice little play. And like, I remember early in the season when we were just really struggling to score goals and was bringing, I brought up, like, we have to come up with some creative ways to give ourselves some more opportunities. I thought this was a moment where we could have gotten a little more creative. I mean, shit, man, I wouldn't mind seeing Owen Wolff over that. Like, I really wouldn't. Sure, at this point, we've seen Diego airmail several of them. I'm not going to hold that against him entirely, but like, we don't have a great option right now. So if we're going to either roll the dice with a couple different guys, I'll have Owen on that list, but I would like to still see some more creativity from these set pieces.
I wonder if I can quickly on the fly here go back through Rubio's goal scoring in his career, right? Because he was a center forward for the majority of his career here in MLS, which of course began with Sporting KC. Free kick goals, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off on the fly, so I'll try to look a little bit later. We'll move on to the 10th minute here where Guilherme, MLS All-Star Guilherme Biru, just for the uninitiated, he clears a ball out of his corner down there on the left. And Round Rock native, Kyrie Shelton, steps in front of Diego Rubio to win the ball out of the air. And Shelton plays a nice little combination between himself and Dejan Joveljic and Jake Davis before Davis whips a ball toward Shapi Suleimanov, who I know you had some thoughts on throughout the game. He's making a run at that back post, and Mikael Dessler is able to head that ball away out for a throw on the near side to the broadcast camera. And then Sporting gets the first real chance of the half, I think, off this long throw. It's initially cleared out kind of accidentally by Shelton because it goes over the first two guys that try to head it, and it kind of pings off his head and back out 10, 12 yards left of net here, and it falls to the foot of Munoz, and he drops it to Tim Leibold at the top of the 18, who's kind of crashing, and he rips a shot that pings off the outside of the far post and out for a goal kick. But that was the most nervy moment, I think, of the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a great look right there as well. Going to get into Dessler more here and as this game progresses because he was absolutely fantastic last night, like just shutting shit down. I know he got the yellow, which I think he deserved, but having a defender like that we have at our disposal on that right side to take care of some of these wing position players who are some of the best in the league. I'm not saying that the Sporting KC has one of them, but Dessler, fantastic shift last night.
And they stay on the front foot here, man. It's 2 minutes later in the 12th where Suleimanov hits Joveljic with a progressive pass on the left side of the Austin third, and Joveljic turns. And this is where I was saying, right, nobody steps to him. So Dan Joveljic just goes about 15 yards unchallenged here, with Djordjevic pointing at Wolff to step to him, and Dessler's pulled out wide. And, Djordjevic, I feel like, was playing this more like he was in a 5-back, or in a 4-back rather, than a 5-back, and having all the backup kind of, behind him. So Joveljic gets to the edge of the 18, and then he's able to draw Heinzike enough closer to him where he can slip it back to Suleimanov, who's making a run more centrally. And as Shappy receives the ball, Dubrsarski's behind him, and he trips him up as he enters the box. And there is about another 90 seconds of play here. That includes a breakaway for Obrian, where his first touch does betray him here and ends up in the gloves of John Postgame. But then a stoppage comes. A review is recommended. And we had Ishmael Elfath on VAR in Arlington last night. And look, man, he's, I hate refs, but Ish is my favorite ref of the ones that we, that we hate. So I don't really question him here. I was actually a little surprised because the review is very, very quick from the head official. And the penalty is given. Joveljic steps up, takes it quickly, sends Brad the wrong way. 1-0 Sporting KC lead. So I think for me here, man, I think there's a conversation about the pen. Was it a penalty or not? And then no matter what you think, rather, that is 5 penalties conceded in the last 7 matches, because bad calls or not, this is a problem plaguing this team. And it is, given the win streak that we're on, that is one of my biggest concerns going into a potential playoff, best of 3 or a knockout game. Even just the Open Cup is like in a 1-game win or go home, giving up a penalty, bad call or not, can knock you out and take everything away in terms of your Open Cup run or an MLS Cup run. And this is something we got to get figured out as a unit, man. It's not just one guy fucking this up. It's not all bad calls. So what did you think? I guess first talking about this penalty itself, was it a foul?
I thought it was a foul. I do. And of all the ones that we've seen over this 7-game stretch, I would think that this one was the most conclusive, that it was a foul. He's in the box. He's progressing towards the goal.
Yeah.
Duber does not get a foot on the ball. I mean, it's not a hard foul by any means, but it's a foul. He's in the box. I think it was rightfully awarded a PK here. I wanted to address more so the play that leads up to it, where we have 4 guys essentially ball watching until someone decides they're going to take on Joveljic in this situation. And that
has the 3rd most goals in the league, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the most dangerous players out there. And the fact that, again, we saw this with this 5-back and just a little bit of confusion, and that hesitation kills you because it just throws everyone else's timing off. And that's what happens here. So, and this comes, and with all these PKs that have come up as of late with this run, it's just I keep anticipating, obviously, we're going to regress to the mean, and it's not going to be this bad going forward. But this is absolutely something you have to clean up. And I mean, I don't know how many minutes Duber has on the season, but this is his 2nd PK that he's conceded to another team. And he's a physical guy. And we had a little conversation comparing him to the Punisher last night. May he rest in peace. They're similar. They're very similar. They're slow. They're physical. They will take some hard fouls. I do think that Duber might be a little bit better on the ball, but the difference is obviously Duber's fucking 20 years old. So having him
Duber, for 5. Okay, maybe we're getting out ahead of ourselves with the comparisons, because Duber, 1 yellow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. But I mean, Duber has played 441 minutes. Johan would be suspended.
Yeah.
And that's a joke, but not that much of a joke.
No.
It's half reality, half kidding.
Yeah.
But to your point, right? He did concede the pen in the Vancouver debacle at BC Place back in, what was that, late April. And so 441 minutes, you've conceded 2 pens. You need to clean that up. And both of them were fouls.
Yes. Rightfully so.
I think that was kind of the biggest thing for me in the moment was I agree with you. Sure, it's soft. Anybody wants to call that soft, I'll agree with you. But a big difference between that one and some of the ones that have been called against us over the last 2 months is that, like you said, he's going towards goal. He's going to get a shot on net. And you stepped right where Shappy was going to step and you tripped him up. Unfortunate.
I mean, we would have been screaming for one if it was on, if it was for
Absolutely.
us. So like, I have no problem with the call, but like, here we are again. You've just gifted another team spotted them a goal here, and the losing streak that we have been on in regard to giving up the first goal and how the rest of those games play out, it just feels really damning when you're down. I don't know, was this the 12th minute, 15th minute?
Yeah, I mean,
of this
12th
game
was when the foul happens, but I think the goal gets put in like the 14th.
So like, it just, I'm sitting there
16th,
like,
excuse me.
Okay, so I'm sitting there, like we're sitting there and having seen this team perform after being down, knowing the guys were also missing in this matchup, was super concerned. And like, I think we're chatting before the game, and I think both of us would have been fine with a draw, and I would have been totally fine with a point going up there, playing them with a depleted roster and getting out of there with a point. So I will say the response, man, was absolutely incredible. Just hats off to the guys.
Yeah, I think not excited, right? But like getting a point on the road, especially where we are, where you only have so many left until you're going to be clinching here in a couple weeks.
Yep.
So we can move on here. In the 19th minute, this is something to watch because Guilherme Biru came into this match on yellow card accumulation caution. Now Mikel Dessler is on caution for his tactical foul there in the 19th minute after giving it away in the offensive third. I thought it was a good foul. But again, we're just at this point now, the season where 7 games left, or 6 games left.
6
games left, man.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like both of the fullbacks will get suspended before the end of the year. And this is where, as unimpressed as you have been, and I think rightfully so, about John Gallagher playing on the left wing, he's going to come in so big for us when we need him to start for either one of those guys, because we know he can start on either side. And I do think, I guess, if Guilherme did get suspended, or when he gets suspended, he's going to get a yellow. I think I'd rather Kolmanich on the left than Johnny.
I would rather Kolmanich as well. And I mean, and like, again, I don't want this to be like not shit on Johnny here or anything like that, but he's a backup fullback. We're playing him on the wing. We're playing him out of position. He's a backup fullback in this league. He gets paid like a backup. He should be getting minutes like a backup. And yes, he's a very good backup. I would be really totally fine with him starting over Dessler if Dessler gets suspended before the season concludes here. So I'm fine with that. We're asking him to do something that he's just not equipped to do on the left side of the field.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a great left foot either. You know, he's right-footed. His left foot was not great.
He's naturally a right winger. That's what he came up playing, right? So, like, we play him in about every position but his natural one. But again, at this point, like, I think he's become, to me, like, he is a fullback now. Like, I think he's just so serviceable at worst.
Yep.
And that's a great quality to have, especially in this league where you need that depth.
Yep, and he will be a guy that you don't notice for 80 minutes and then make a really big play because he's always locked in, he's always focused, he's doing his job. So yes, and like that was one of the things we were most excited about to start the season once we started getting these guys come in. It's like, holy shit, our depth is great now. We have the utility knife in Johnny who we can bring in and shift him all over the field whenever we want to. And that's what he's most suited to do. And you know what? Honestly, it still worked out because we won this game. He started, I think he played, 70 minutes or something along those lines. And we were super depleted. We did not have the guys we normally want to start in this game.
26th minute here. It's a great long ball here. Diagonal changing the field from Mateja Djordjevic to Guilherme Biru. I mean, that pass progressed the ball like 40 yards. And I'll say, Mateja Djordjevic made a great first impression.
Absolutely.
On me. And like to the point where, and again, this is one game and first impressions do a lot for you, right? So like maybe a month from now, maybe we haven't even seen Djordjevic play over the next month, again, with our center backs back and healthy, hopefully. But it makes me so confident in that position group going forward because I love Svot Talk. And I think everybody feels good about Brendan Heinzike on this team. And if you get that third center back who everybody feels confident in, it's just that will be. I'm envisioning this place that we've never been to as a club and as a fan base, where you have 3 center backs that you feel great about.
Yeah. Where you're not like, oh God, please don't be hurt because we're shifting Alex Ring back there now.
Yeah, or like guys like Leo gets infinite injuries and just never does anything. Like, you know,
Yep.
we just haven't had the best luck, and we haven't had the best scouting, I think, at that position, just overall, right? Anyways, Beaver brings that ball down, and very soft touch. But then the opposite of that, and I just said, we had to, look, we are the #1 Guilherme Biru fan podcast. I think that's clear.
Yeah.
But this is one of the worst balls I have seen from him and from the team on the year, right? Like, he launches this from the left side of the 18, out of bounds on the other side. It does bounce. I think Owen gets it, like, almost saves it in. But, and Guilherme, you can hear him and visibly see him on the broadcast. As soon as that comes off his foot, he said something in Portuguese that I'm sure was not my bad, guys.
Yeah. I just remember, I remember this play happening and just distinctly looking over to you while you're taking notes for this game to run down the recap and be like, oh God, he's definitely going to bring this up tomorrow.
So I was trying a new thing, taking notes during the game last night, you know, because how many Monday pods do we have to do? A little less time for a rewatch from a Sunday night soccer game. So it worked out.
Yeah, it did.
And Mateo gets his name in the book here a couple minutes later. Yellow card in the 29th minute for a handball. And, like, I don't know about a yellow card here, man. Like, maybe there was some intentionality to that the ref perceived that I could not see on the replay. So I don't know about that, but okay, man. Djordjevic in the box score.
Hey, man, he really settled in, I think. And like, on top of that, like, we gave him his credit for, you know, being ready for having not played in months and doing that. And then having this little mistake earlier, which I don't think is solely on him, because there's 3 other players involved in that play with Joveljic that leads to the penalty kick for SKC. But he really settled in. And, like, this was another thing that could have thrown you a little bit awry, because I don't think this is a yellow card. I'm looking at the yellows right now. Their first one doesn't come to the 74th. And Volodare commits 4 fouls consecutively in the first half of this game, where it's like, okay, well, he's going to get one now. So I was really impressed with Djordjevic, man. And, like, yeah, I also don't want to overreact and be like, lock him in definitively to the 3rd center back position. But you're going to have to show me something, Julio, that doesn't look bad. Because that's mostly what we've seen from him out of this year. So I'm very excited for Djordjevic. And the thing that really stuck out with him, and you brought it up, was the progressive passes. You really saw that ball coming off of his foot on time and to our team, breaking lines. And that's big. Yeah, man, for sure. I think we need to be measured in the praise of multiple guys here today, because, like, there are Okay. We're celebrating. It's the young, like you said, like we talked about before.
I'm not saying we're not celebrating. I'm just saying.
I mean,
we gotta keep our heads a little bit.
It's the young boys that we've never seen this work before.
I know. Okay. I know.
Okay.
34th minute here. Austin steals the ball at the back off a poor pass from Volodare. It was intended for Bartlett, and good guys are off on a 3-on-2 break here. Cross comes in from Hadar Obrian after Owen slipped him through into the box. And there's shouts for a handball on the cross. You can hear them on the broadcast. You can see the guys asking for it. And, of course, Apple not going to show a replay of this fucking play. Like, what?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You guys, it just seems like it could be so easy to hire producers who know soccer.
Yeah.
Right. We clearly don't have those. We clearly do not.
Yeah.
Or you would see some improvement, and I don't see it.
I mean, I guess it wasn't a handball. You know what I mean? I think somebody would have seen it, but, like, why can't we?
How many non-handballs have we seen 18 replays of, and then we miss a shot on the other end of the field because they're fucking showing them to us?
Yeah, true.
Anyways, watching it back this morning, this sure looks like a handball to me, because you hear it smack Jake Davis, right? Mm-hmm. And he pulls his arm back.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it was Twellman on the call that was speculating maybe it goes into his stomach there, and that gives you that big pop that you heard from the ball. And that he was, Ismail Elfath is reviewing this play in Arlington. So I think the argument there is probably for no pin is probably that his arm was in a natural position. But I feel like that ball was going towards Diego Rubio, and if it doesn't ping off his arm, we get there's going to be an opportunity for a shot there. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've just seen handballs called on plays like that in the past. So, again, it's not a huge deal, but frustrating for sure. Like, it sure looked like we were going to get a review there recommended.
Would have liked to have seen it. I'll say that much.
Yeah, at least just fucking show it to us.
Yeah, come on.
So we can calm down. Well, we didn't calm down, but the mood certainly changes 3 minutes later. Another ball over the top, this time from Guilherme Biru, and this is towards Owen Wolff, who is running right up the gut. And he brings it down between two defenders here, between Leibold and Volader. Smooth touch. And here's a picture from the team. I mean, that's a hell of a picture right there. That
awesome.
Touch to cushion that down, and cushions it down to create space for himself to his left as the defenders kind of fly by. And one-time shot here from Owen as he readjusts to his left, shooting with his weak foot. I think, and he buries this past Postgame, who I think is once again confirmed bad. He got himself caught in no man's land there. But like Owen doesn't even celebrate there. I was joking to myself, like, oh, he's just used to it now, this kid. Now he's run out of celebrations. I did see some folks suggesting that because Josh Wolff is a Sporting KC legend, I think he's on their Ring of Honor. That he didn't celebrate because he's in KC.
What?
That's what I saw some people speculating that.
Who are these people?
That's people, man.
Okay.
I can't keep up with all the people whose bullshit I'm reading on the internet.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely not buying that. I just want to talk about this, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Not only does he come down with this ball, like you said, he uses all of the defenders' momentum to carry them past him and then calmly swivels with his hips because his shoulders and hips are not square to the net. This is poor. This is very poor goalkeeping by Postgame. I will say that very poor. Should not have been found in this situation. But to rip this with your left before he even shot it, I stood up and said goal because I knew it was going in because he's just been absolutely on a tear. And like just watching him, man, his confidence right now is it's through the roof. And like we've seen him just abuse guys a little bit for like fun. Sometimes where it's just like, okay, I'm going to beat you. Okay. You want to come I mean, in this game as well, which we saw in I can't remember if it was the Montreal game where they stop a fast break or if it was, who the fuck did we play last match?
San Jose.
It was a San Jose match where he's getting dragged down. He's getting pulled down and like he's getting fouled the entire time and the ref doesn't stop play. And then Owen kicks out and gets a yellow card for that. And you saw it in this game too, where it's like, he's being grabbed and pulled by guys and like waits for a foul call and then just kind of stands there and is like looking at the field and is like, is there anyone out here who can guard me? Like that's what it looks like to me, where it's like, okay, the ref is, you know what I mean? The ref needs to save you in this moment. And I mean, I don't know, man, 26 mil now. Like what we got to get, we got to get like a little
number last night.
We're going to get a little tracker going maybe. You know what I mean?
The Owen Wolff sales scale.
I mean,
price.
He's been stunning, and I know that you have some more deeper stats to get into with him, and I don't know if you want to do that right now or if you want to save that until after, but like it's been incredible. 8 goal contributions now in 7 games. It just stunning. And he's not even like, and like the thing about like you see him later in the game and the commentator specifically says, well, if I was Owen Wolff, I would have shot that after what I just did, but he lays it off to Buka because he's not playing selfishly. He's just taking the game as it comes to him. As it comes to him, and then just to be in the flow of it, it's just been a masterpiece and a joy to watch. And I said before this, when we were previewing this game, that we're going to be shorthanded, and as good as he's been, he's going to have to take it up another level and be the guy, and he did.
Yeah. I think on this, again, it's just a freeze frame of a millisecond here with this picture, but like, I see this. I'm like, not only is he bringing that ball down like almost perfectly to set himself up for the shot, his eyes are up.
I was going to say, he's looking at Postgame. He's looking at Postgame. Yep.
Super impressive, man. And like all the shit you said there, like we were saying it last night, like he's playing with so much fucking sauce right now.
Incredible.
It's incredible. So now we're feeling great, right? So go ahead.
Fantastic now. 1-1. This is where we want to be. And like we're confident now. We've just come off this goal, and it's like we can win this game. Absolutely, this game is right in front of you. Yep. SKC, I know it is a bottom tier team. They're down the table. This probably, and we talk like you brought it up before, where it's like you could have put some teams out of their misery. Yep. You just did that to SKC last night. You put them out of their misery. They had to get that game at home versus a team that has 6 dudes out for international duty, and you can't get it done. So you put your foot on their throat, man, and you just stomped them out. And we're just like, this is what got us started here. And like the calmness that this was eventually going to come was there and present with the guys, even after giving up the PK goal.
Yeah, I mean, before the half ends, man, like Austin's kind of sticks on the front foot here. They're pinging it around the back in the 43rd minute, kind of trying to draw defenders out as well as find an outlet to progress the ball themselves.
Yep.
And so Biru checks back, to provide an outlet to Duber. And as Guilherme receives the ball, he turns. He's kind of near that left sideline, far sideline from the broadcast camera. He turns and floats one over the top towards Galley and puts it right. Like he's able to take it in stride. Another great pass from Biru there. And Johnny, as he squares it to Rubio, Diego's kind of arriving with the cavalry. In that moment, it's a 7-on-5. Diego zips it to Owen, who turns to face goal. And then, like you mentioned a couple minutes ago, he slides it out to Book, who's in behind on the right. And it's the same kind of tough angle we've seen from Osman so many times this year. And his shot here goes right into Postgame's gloves, and he blocks it back into the field of play. It goes like 25 yards away, and the play kind of, breaks down there. But I think this was the time to go near post because Postgame's positioning is almost playing the cross. And so I think if Osman was able to pick out the top corner, which again is much easier said than done, but we know he loves to go near post. I think he could have snuck that one in there. But it was a pretty good buildup and unfortunate that we didn't get the second here before the whistle. I
thought he should have scored. Yeah, I mean, like this is as good an opportunity as we got in this first half. I mean, with the play from Owen and everything. And I do want to jump back to it real quick because that run that Owen and a few other players were making last night that was cutting across the face of both of the center backs and launching these balls long. I think 2 or 3 come in. I know Guilherme had at least 2 last night. Awesome run. I love it. It creates a little bit of confusion between who's actually marking them, and something that got brought up with Moon Tower in the past was when teams have been man marking us and how that's affected us. I think this creates a lot of confusion for the defensive unit to not know who your guy is in that moment. So I thought that that's a nice little wrinkle that was added either in this game or prior to this, but we've seen this run now. And when you have those balls coming in like that, that's huge for us. It's a fast break opportunity. Pulskamp, again, out of position here. I'm right there with you. He definitely is. And the one thing about Book, I'll give him credit on this. When he lets these fly, like no one has just caught one of these. You know what I mean? Like where it's like I'm catching it and it's no longer in play. The pace that he has on all of these, he's got to get a little bit better picking and choosing where he wants to shoot it at. And I think we'll start seeing those start to go in a little bit more here. But fantastic play here. And another thing to your point last night that you were bringing up about like that kind of secondary run. I mean, basketball, we really like to call them trailers. And we had that in the first half, and we didn't break our form and our game plan despite going down. And I was super impressed with that because we knew this team will give it up. Like they will create errors. They will have bad communication on the back line. You'll get some more chances. And I do think we should have scored here, but I was very fine with the way we closed this half out.
So coming out of the half, no changes for either team. And in the 59th minute, this is just a small note that I made last night that I expanded on here this morning and pointed it out to you guys while we were watching. Sporting had a pretty good buildup here in the 59th minute, and there was a smart change of the field from Bartlett to Shallowy. Shallowy was pretty quiet on the night.
It was.
Shallowy brings it down on that near sideline, and he's got Jake Davis running in behind with Duber trailing Davis and Biru closing down Shallowy with the ball on that right sideline. And I thought this was really good defense from Biru here, because as he's closing out to Shallowy, he checks over his shoulder and sees the run from Davis, and he shifts his footing to make Shallowy have to pass that when he's trying to put Davis through down towards the end line. He has to put it so much wider that, I mean, a couple feet, but it makes all the difference in the world because Davis then catches up to the ball on the end line instead of 5 yards above it. So like, and Davis ends up, his cross goes out of bounds.
Yep.
And so, like, again, it was just a little hop to his left that I think created a turnover and prevented a chance that was going to come into the box across the face of net. So I wanted to give, I think Guilherme had a standout game last
Yep.
night. And of course, gets in the box score for the assist on the first goal. But I think it was even deeper than that. I thought he, on both sides of the ball, we know he can kind of fluctuate wildly on the bell curve of Guilherme performances. This one was towards the right side of that graph.
Absolutely. And I mean, not only that, like you mentioned, where the ball has to go a little farther, he gave, I believe, I can't remember who was tracking back to go pick up Davis, but you gave our defender more time to be able to recover here and pick this guy up and pick Davis up on the baseline there. So yes, a small play, but had big ramifications.
61st minute, double change here for Sporting. Mason Toy and Logan Ndenbe is their other U22 there, comes in for Leibold and Munoz. 6 minutes later, you get CJ and Bobby Taylor in for Hader and John Gallagher. So you get CJ up top, Taylor there on his customary left side. I think you feel good about those subs. And I think what we were saying about seeing CJ come in so early relative to his normal appearances was come in here, man, cause havoc.
Yep.
Run your ass on both sides of the ball.
She always does.
And of course, we're going to get in and start praising him on all the good plays that come out of this run. But it was born out of his effort. And that's something that he brings every time he's on the pitch.
Since day one. Every time he gets his opportunity, he goes out there and he plays fucking hard. And like no one can ever take that away from him. And for him to get this reward from all of that hard work, because it's been a long journey for him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A lot of people were super excited on him. Some people definitely overreact way too much to some preseason Next Pro events that we've seen in the past. Jimmy Farkland being the next coming of Christ and everything like that. So like the expectations were high on CJ. And now he's the only player in Austin history with a goal in Next Pro and at the first level. And it's been a long time coming for him, man. And like, yes, absolutely. And we talked about it a couple episodes ago where we're like, we've had veterans on this team who bitch and moan and do snaky kind of things where it's not going their way. Mm-hmm. Not once with this guy, not one time. And that's gonna keep you in the league for a long time, dude. And I'm just so happy for him.
CJ 1 goal, Hader Oberon 0. I'm just talking facts here.
I love the subs. I thought the subs were great because you definitely could have been like, hey, let's park this bus and really shut this down. But Robbie.
They did. I mean, we were way back for most of that half, but we did not quit. We did not. I don't think the team shied away from taking the chances when they presented themselves.
Yes, and I think the subs in particular with Robbie and CJ were both guys that we saw, and I brought up with the trailers. We weren't having that second level of wave of offensive players when we did have fast breaks, but those two guys were consistently sprinting up the field and wreaking havoc on the defensive unit of Sporting Kansas City. And CJ had a great interview after the game and everything. He was talking about it, and he was like, the coach is telling me to come in, use my fresh legs to put pressure on the defense. And from the jump, he did that. So I really love the subs because with Ilya being available here, I thought this was, okay, let's get Ilya in. Let's get Kolmanich in here. Let's really park this thing and just get out of here with a point. But no.
73rd minute here. The game really starts to open up in the last 20. Is a fantastic touch and then acceleration from Wolff to zip past Davis at midfield after a turnover by Sporting. And Austin has numbers with CJ up top, Owen in the right channel, and then Buca, Rubio, and Taylor to his left in that order. Owen gets pulled back by Bartlett, and this is what you mentioned earlier, where he gets pulled back, and Bartlett does get shown a yellow at the next stoppage, but stops waiting for the foul call. And luckily, Osman just takes the loose ball and advantage is played as Owen looks at the ref, what the fuck? And Osman sweeps it from right to left to the feet of Taylor, and Taylor can't find an avenue to create a chance. Austin cycles it back around, and they lose possession for a moment, but then Owen comes back over to the far side of the field on the right, steps in, nicks the ball off of Suleimanov, and Austin settles back into the offensive third, and after a few passes, Owen finds some space to loft across towards CJ at the back post. Great run by Fodrey here. He meets the ball at the peak of his jump and nods it off the crossbar, I think maybe off the post. I mean, it was a very loud ping on the broadcast, and I imagine I was not the only fan with a surrender Cobra in that moment because it was like everything set up for that to be it. for CJ and to take the lead and just puts it off. I was just like, oh, like this is just never going to happen for him. Like at this point, you know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. What a play. I mean, just to get this ball again, Owen, just like, thank you. Give me that.
Yeah.
You've had it enough. I'm done with you. And then to put a perfect ball here. Great run by CJ. And this is, despite the fact that this does not result in a goal, this is why he's in there in these moments, because you're not getting that out of Hader. I'm sorry. Like, he's just not getting up to that level to go head this ball. That's not his game. And I'm not going to fault him for that. It's just, they're two different.
He's nowhere near athletic enough vertically to compete with almost any of our other forwards.
Yes. So like this was a beautiful, beautiful run by CJ and a sign of things to come, man.
So at the next dead ball, you do get that yellow card shown to Bartlett, and Kolmanich comes on for Biru. 75th, Owen deflects a pass, which allows Dubrsarski to kind of fully break things up and win the ball back for Austin. Robert Taylor steps onto it, and he plays it to the feet of Rubio. And Rubio and Austin as a whole benefit from Alan Montes trying to come in for the tackle, and he gets kind of tangled up with Diego, and he falls over. Diego stays on his feet, and he's got the ball, so he takes off. 4-on-2 break after Montes was, kind of fell down, and Diego's got it. Turns into a 5-on-2 very quickly with Buka wide right, Taylor in the right channel next to Diego, CJ trailing Diego over his right shoulder, and then Kolmanich joining the action, sprinting up the field wide left. And hindsight, well, in the moment, I think I screamed Buka because I think the pass should have been right away out to wide right for Buka with 4 runners and all the options in the world there. But Diego keeps the ball, and Twellman, the longer as Diego gets to the top of the box and hasn't made his pass yet, Twellman goes, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Because of how bad the decision-making was in that moment. And Diego plays a pass that's slow and a little behind Jean on the left. And Jean does his best to cross it to Taylor, who has the space for a little volley here, slips down and can't connect, kind of rolls over the ball there. And I have this in the notes, so I'm going to do it here. I just want to note again the hustle by Kolmanich to get back and defend after this play, because Sporting takes off on a counter. And Jean gets back and gets in front of the ball. So to do full field sprint to get involved here, put in a pass that is good enough to earn an assist if Robert Taylor can connect there. And then to get back and stop the ball. I mean, he was fantastic off the bench too, man. That was last night was a full team effort from guys of all salary ranges, roster designations, qualifications, everything. Shout out to Kolmanich, man.
As was like the Biru play, small play with big ramifications here for him to get back like this. I mean, Rubio, man, come on, brother. Got maybe the fastest player in the league on the right side of you with no one in front of him. It's a 5-on-2. You have to be better in this moment. And if we could clean up one thing from this game, really, if it was either the PK or this moment, a couple fast breaks just didn't look crisp. You know what I mean? This was. We had to stop our momentum. We had to stop our run of play because the ball's ball didn't go to the right person right away. The pass is poor to Kolmanich to try to get something going here. But yes, way to go, Kolmanich, to get back here and salvage a moment that was not great.
76th minute, Eric Tommy comes in for Shapi Suleimanov. 80th minute, Sporting on the front foot here with Shelton and Shallowy playing a nice give and go on the right side of the final third. Before Shelton plays Dejan Joveljic through, there was good defense by Djordjevic following Joveljic on that run. He forces Dejan to drop it back to Shallowy, and Shallowy fires a shot kind of through the Austin defense. It's on target. Stuver called into action. He comes up big and pushes this shot out for a corner. And then on that corner, Austin's able to clear it out with CJ, who kind of comes together on a challenge with the defender, gets the touch, speeds past that Sporting defender, and now CJ's on his horse, sprinting down the right side of the field with the ball at his feet. It's a 4-on-2 again, and then there's 3 Sporting defenders trailing the play. CJ chops it across the top of the box with his right foot, I may add, on this pass right into the path of Robert Taylor, and Taylor redirects it on frame with the shot. And I do give credit to John Postgame here, getting down to his right to make this save out for a corner. I thought, we talk a lot of Postgame shit whenever we play Sporting, and I think rightfully so. This was a good save.
This was a very, very good save. And I want to jump back to I can't again. I'm gonna not remember the right game it was, but a moment where CJ's in. We have a fast break. Nobody picks him up, and he takes a long shot from distance that we really, really didn't like.
Dallas.
In this moment, he makes the right play here, and like a clear sign of like, you know, and like in the moment where everything's moving super fast, it's much easier to talk about this shit.
Yeah.
Here while I'm sitting in my chair, but like to make the right decision and this ball to Taylor, it's not perfect, but it's very good. It's in the run of play. We don't have to really slow up our momentum. It's bang, bang. And we got a shot on target. And like, yes, I will give Postgame credit here. Going to jump back to the Stuver save. Stunning, massive save to fucking get that. And like, you know, now he's up to like 605 saves in the last X amount of years. Just incredible.
Best keeper of all time. We got the best player in the league, and Owen Wolff, best keeper. We got the best everything. We got Mir too. He's the best.
Hey, we need some trophies with all these best players. But look, man, like you said, team effort from top to bottom, and that included Stuver. He had his moment here with this save, and again, just credit to CJ. Would love to see us convert some more of these fast breaks, though. Would love it.
If we don't win Open Cup, we just need to create some North End trophies, send them to the club's front office. Hey, put those next to the Copa Tejas in there, make the trophy cabinet look a little bit better. Owen Wolff, best player in the league, July 25 to September 25. So on that corner, dude, Owen calls off Kolmanich. And I think even like setting the result of this corner kick aside, that makes sense, I think, because Owen with the right foot is going to get you that in-swinging ball. Kolmanich with the left would put it out swinging. And we're targeting that near post corner again, which we've had, you know, so many people bitch, moan, and complain about these corners. And this is exactly why you do it. Because I imagine, especially because Owen has, I think, 4 dead ball goal-creating actions this year, which is 5th most in the league, by the way. I think if you go back through the corner kicks this season, the success rate is probably right around the average of the corner kick success rate, which is like 7%.
Yes.
So like, again, we've kind of been preaching like, be patient. Not every corner kick is going to get you a fucking goal. Anyways, as the whistle blows, play stopped before this ball comes in because Rubio's in there fucking around with Postgame. So the official clears things up and we get a close up. I had this in my notes because it did happen. As the close-up on Apple is focused on Owen at the corner, there's 2 American flags right behind him in the stands in the first row. I said, Owen Wolff, America. And he takes the kick, whips it in. CJ Fodrey takes 4 steps towards the near post, meets the service from Rolf. Again, at the apex of his jump.
Yep.
And it skims off his head, floats past Postgame into the net for the lead. CJ's first MLS goal. Well-deserved, man. And in the celebration, CJ said after the game, he said, I think I blacked out for the first, second or two. He's just running somewhere.
He did.
Then he redirects his celebration towards Owen in the corner. And I thought it was cool that the first guys to get to him are a bunch of the young guys. Obviously him and Owen come together. Owen has the assist, but then it's Duber. Then it's Kolmanich. And then you see sprinting down from the bench area, Tony Gomez, Riley Thomas, Adrian Gonzalez in the mix there with, of course, everybody else piling on top of us. Fucking awesome. And again, man, well-deserved. Congrats to CJ.
I mean, there's a moment he will never forget for the rest of his life. Just absolutely. This is your first goal. It's a game winner. You've been working so hard for it to finally see all of that hard work pay off to get this goal, man. It was incredible. It was just like I said last night to you, you couldn't have wrote a script for this game that would have been better. To get off the schneid in regard to not dropping points when you give up the first goal, to Owen continuing his absolutely incredible run of form, to CJ's first career goal, to getting the 3 points that have pushed you to a point where it's just like you're 4 points away from locking this shit up, where you're just in the playoffs at this point now, and you're looking at potentially moving up seeding wise. So you couldn't have wrote a better script for this evening to be on Sunday night, prime time TV and everything like that. But awesome. It's just absolutely incredible. I feel so great for CJ, and I know that he feels 100 times better than I do, man. So just shout out to that. Shout out to everyone last night. Everyone contributed to that 3 points in one way or another.
After the goal, we get a double change. Ilie and Irvin Torres in for Duber, Sarski, and Rubio. So to what you said about Ilie earlier, I think it's very encouraging to me. And I think you were kind of getting at the similar sentiment where, like, because of the back issue, it can be so tedious, especially as an older player. And to get back out there for 10 plus minutes here to, like, okay, I moved around. I'm hopefully, right, it didn't flare up on him afterwards. But, like, if you come out of that okay, then we're building to, 30 minutes off the bench and hopefully getting back into the starting lineup at some point.
I mean, because I think the Sabo injury, while it didn't, like, it looked way worse than we thought, I think it's still going to be a little bit of time. And I would expect to see Ilya back.
Sabo could be out for the year.
I would not put it past.
If he has to go get a meniscus surgery or something, like,
clean it up or anything like that. So yes, Ilya getting that 10 minutes. I mean, and, like, it's so funny, right? The juxtaposition here, where it's like you have the older guy who's coming in trying to get 10 minutes, and then you have Irvin, 17, coming out there on the field, and, like, the coaching staff putting your trust in him to not be a complete and total liability out there. And, like, we've nursing this lead in a very, very crucial matchup in the Western Conference for us. And we've heard time and time again that we don't think that there are an appropriate amount of players who are able to make this jump and leap and getting time at the first team level. But to see Irvin get that time as well and have his moment, and he was fine. He was fine. He was not involved in a lot of things, but he was totally fine. He did have a nice little 1-2 action on the left side of the field there, which I thought he looked okay. But again, to have the trust of the coaching staff to be like, yes, we're going to see this out with you out there on the field, I thought was really impactful and powerful for Irvin. So shout out to him as well.
Kolmanich picks up a yellow in the 86th, and then we get 4 minutes of stoppage time. Go ahead.
That was heinous.
Well,
that was the weirdest. Yeah, that was the weirdest call of the night, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, everything else was like, okay,
the weirdest call of the night is coming up soon, but that was second. Okay. The way we end things is kind of weird.
Yeah,
we'll take it. So in the first minute of stoppage here, Sporting able to generate a breakaway after Ilya plays a wayward ball back to Mason Toye. I mean, I guess, like, it wasn't intended for Mason Toye, but it was just inaccurate. There was a lack of communication between Ilya and I think it was Heinzike there that he was trying to drop that ball to. So Toye intercepts it. And the one thing we know about Mason Toye is he can fucking run, man. Yep. And he breaks right past Heinzike into the Austin half. We get lucky that he kind of trips himself up a little bit, but he's able to swing that ball to Dejan Joveljic, who plays it on to his left to Eric Tommy. Eric Tommy takes a shot and goes just wide left into the stands. But that was, an unnecessary breakaway of our own doing there. So, again, I didn't say anything about how Ilya looked earlier. And again, like, that's the play that stuck out, at least to me. And I think most fans that would be the play they remember from Sanchez on the night. So, look, it's not all good, but, we'll take it. Sure. We escaped.
We got out of
Glad I didn't have to see fucking Cavincho on socials today going, Tommy gone. Fourth minute of stoppage here, E. Austin's not able to successfully clear out a ball that's kind of being headed and just pinged all over the place here in their half. Taylor tries, like, this sidewinder kick to try to clear it, and he just fucking whiffs. And the deflection, or he deflects it, so, foul tip. It comes to the feet of Dejan Joveljic about 35, maybe even 40 yards from net. And once again, Joveljic turns and charges forward with nobody stepping to him. Irvin's trailing, trying to reach out and grab and try to pull him down. Yeah. And he can't catch him. And then we get towards the 18 and Irvin has to stop. And then fucking Joveljic, man, just splits the two center backs, which, like, I think outside of the play where we gave up the pen earlier, like, this is the worst defensive play on the night, where these guys just let Joveljic slice right through there. And, like, I understand he's one of the most talented forwards in the league, but you guys are better than this.
Yes.
And it ends up with Dejan Joveljic, again, 17 goals. The only players that have more goals than him, I think, Surridge, right, and Messi.
Yep.
So, like, no, Joveljic in on Brad from 8 yards out. And we're so, again, praise be to Bradley Scott Stuver.
Good Lord.
Because he goes to ground. I mean, Joveljic could have done better here. He kind of just shoots it right into Brad as he gets down to the ground. But, oh, my God, dude. Like, I saw 2 points flash before my eyes.
Yep, absolutely. This would have ripped our hearts out. Would have overshadowed the CJ goal. Would have taken the luster off of that. Would have just been a crushing. And, like,
This would have been a 53-minute podcast today.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of yelling. It would have been a lot of upset people here, man. But like, I mean, this is he saves it with his calf. Like it just hits his fucking right
Hockey
calf
save.
and somehow gets out of there. So once again, Bradley Scott Stuver, man, just incredible.
Statue. And then look, we continue here. He blocks that away. The ball stays in play. And Austin Buka is able to clear this ball to midfield.
Yeah.
20 seconds over the time, and we have not had stoppages. So we get a foul whistled on Irvin, and Sporting starts to get ready for a set piece here. But then head official blows the game dead. Mm-hmm. And so, I think what happened here, and I'm not sure if there was confirmation of this or not, but I think they were reviewing for a potential handball on Austin on that previous play. And then when Ish got through and said no foul, or we're not going to bring it back or whatever, the final whistle blew because we were well over the time. But I guess what I want to know, and right, because we were looking at the head official, he was explaining to Eric, Tommy, and some other KC players and he was pointing to his earpiece, right? So they were reviewing something there. But what I want to know is what happens if there's no foul there, they let them play on, and they fucking score.
Yeah.
And you guys are letting this game continue. Would the goal have counted? It definitely should not have. If that was how this was going, it's I don't know, man. That was a wacky into the game, and I'm glad we got out of there.
I don't even know how you can clean this up because yes, I mean obviously I don't think it's a situation that's going to present itself a ton, but it's clearly it's not a loophole or anything, but I don't even know why. I mean, the SKC guys are mad. It's bro, you got to go over this game by a minute
Almost
and a
minute,
half. You're close to a minute. It was just they're upset, and we're what the fuck is going on? We're screaming, blow the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe you should have to play it out of bounds. I don't know. I really don't know. There's not a solution here, but yes, this was a very nervy and odd ending to this matchup. But that is also my best guess.
39% possession for Austin. At the end of this one, 13 shots to 7 in favor of Sporting KC, but 4 shots on target apiece. Austin FC created 3 big chances, missed all 3 of them, and still come out of here with 3 points. So you feel pretty good about that. 6 corners to 1 in favor of Sporting. So our 1 corner kick capitalized on that. On FOTMob's model, 1.16 XG for Austin FC, 2.13 for Sporting. Expected goals on target, 1.4 for Austin, 1.65 for Sporting. But you see, right, for them, 0.79 of that XG comes from their penalty, and 0.79 of the expected goals on target came from the penalty. So in terms of anything from open play or set pieces, it was very, very even in terms of the expected metrics last night. Some of the takeaways here, man, I think I have a number of them, like you said, and the one that I think everybody kind of gleaned from the broadcast, because, of course, when we get scored on first, of course, Apple TV is going to flash that nasty stat up there that we were 0-9-3. Well, fucking 1-9-3 now.
Boom, baby.
Dicks. Now
Boom.
stop showing that.
Stop it.
They're going to keep showing it till you at least get 3 fucking wins. But, and, of course, we've come back twice in the Open Cup, too. Yep. Not that we should be trumpeting the El Paso win as anything positive, but they have shown the ability to come back across all competitions this season. It is Austin's 6th away win in the 2025 season. 3 road matches left. Club record is 8 away wins back in 2022, and your road matches left are at FC Dallas, where you've never won, at RSL, where you historically struggle, and then at San Jose, where you just got your first ever, and it wasn't even a win. We drew in 120 minutes and advanced on pens. So, it's easier said than done, but it's also not a challenging enough schedule where it's impossible to win 2 more of these. Or even, again, perfect run out, all 3 is not crazy. I would not be shocked if we won all 3 of those games. I'd be surprised, but, I think we've seen crazier things from this team.
Absolutely.
Austin has now scored more goals in the last 7 matches than the first half of the season, which is 17 matches combined. You had 15 goals in the first 17 league matches, 16 goals in the last 7 league matches here for Austin. Not that that's a terribly high bar, but that's certainly some improvement. And again, you're getting into form at the right time here, which is something, that we have never, ever done here in Austin.
Literally never.
You have never had look. To me, this is the stat of the week. This is the latest 2-game win streak in club history, and it is not close.
Yeah, it's not.
Check this out. Last year, our last 2-game win streak in the league was games, again, 34 games in a regular season. It was games 12 and 13, which was in May. Home Houston, home SKC. We did go back-to-back in the League's Cup group stage, but that was still in July. 2023, games 18 and 19 of the regular season were our last 2-game win streak. That was home Dallas, home Houston. Love that week, 6-0 against those fucks. Even in 2022, games 19 and 20, which were in July, was our last 2-game win streak of the season. That was road ATL, home Houston. And then, in the expansion season, our only 2-game win streak of the year was games 2 and 3 in April and May. Of course, that season was pushed back for COVID, but that was road Colorado and road Minnesota. So to have a 2-game win streak that bridges August and September in games 27 and 28 of the season, you are allowed to feel good if you're feeling good today, Austin FC fans. And if you are not feeling good right now, open yourself up to some unwavering, overwhelming positivity. Come wash yourselves clean in the positivity of the North End. Because we have never been here before. Again, It's not a fucking high bar, but we celebrate all wins. And it's September.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a win streak.
Yep.
Times they are a-changing.
Damn, dude. And like you said, you have these 3 road games coming up too where they're all winnable. Like I'm not saying I'm guaranteeing that we're going to win all 3 of these games. It starts in Dallas, who, after they drew last night or Saturday, didn't they give up fucking 43
shots? And so they got a point.
So it starts there, obviously. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but like we talked about and we've said and we've criticized this team in the past before, where it's like, if you want to be considered a playoff team, you want to be taken seriously, then there are certain games you have to show up to and you have to perform. And this was one of them for this club last night. Being shorthanded, playing with these younger players, which we have never had success with before, not even something we usually try to do. To be able to go up there in a hostile environment and, win a game that against a team that you should have beaten, but when you're down 6 dudes for international duty to get this job done was incredibly impressive. And yes, there's a lot to feel good about right now. Despite we talked about the away games that you have left, you have full 6-point games versus Seattle and LAFC left.
Yep.
You can, the 5 slot is in play.
If we had just won one of those Copa Tejas games, the 2 extra points, I would be legitimately saying we're going for the 5 seed.
Yep. It's in play.
I think that probably ends up as a tougher matchup, but there's a long way to go. So anyways.
Yep. Lot can happen here. It's a long way to go, but you have set yourself up so well. Portland is fucking falling apart. Colorado is falling apart. San Jose is just
they're still the Quakes.
They are who they are. It's going to be wild. It's going to be up and down. Some crazy shit is going to happen with them. They're going to have a guy slip and fall out of bounds and give up a goal. These things are going to happen. And then you have a nice little cliff there where you're looking at the Dynamo. You're 8 points clear of them. They have an absolutely an absolutely succulent way to drop points to the worst team in the Western Conference. Delicious fucking dessert for me to watch.
And that hit a bet for us.
Oh, beautiful. So, what a night it was, man. And shout out to everyone. And good job to the coaching staff, man. And Nico, for where we've been at with him and some things we've heard in the past that we don't necessarily agree with, but that's going to be with every coach that we have throughout our tenure here and everything. He has had these guys ready to play more often than not. I will say, of course, there's been some letdowns, but more often than not, this team has been ready to play, ready to come out, and ready to perform. And last night was a really big game, man. And I just can't say enough about Owen Wolff and what he looks like out there, man. And we're having a conversation where it's it'd be so nice to be one of the top tier teams where it's just we can have this guy for 15 years and he's going to be a club legend. But obviously getting ahead of myself, but massive win, man. Massive.
Yeah, because if MLS was the NBA, the top league in the sport globally, then oh man, he'd be here forever.
Yeah, really would.
So I was looking at the graphics put out by MLS Stat over there on Blue Sky, and it did stand out to me that, again, like, if you want to say that our defense isn't in the elite tier of the league, I'm not going to sit here and push back too strongly, but this is a good defense. 8 of those 13 shots that Sporting took last night were in the poor XG category here, based on ASA's model. But again, like, that is something I think we've seen pretty consistently throughout the year, that even in games where we do get outshot, the quality of shots still remains relatively even, right? 3 great XG chances for them. One of them's the pen. So you take the pen out of there, you both had 2 great XG chances and no good chances. So it was, we again, I have all the praise in the world for the team as a whole last night, because starting with the coaching staff, the game plan, they were willing to adjust. One thing we didn't mention in that first half is after the pen, you get rid of the 5 back. We went to a 4-4-2, and they settled in after that. They didn't give up shit after that.
Absolutely. And like you said, I don't know if I'll put us in like top 5 defenses. I don't know if I can do that. But when you pair the defensive unit that we have with the much, much above average level of goalkeeping play, you have a really fucking good unit back there. And like, we've hung our hat on that defensive unit all season long. And now you're seeing the offense start to pick up there a little bit more. And of course, this could be just an absolutely sexy looking 5 games. But you had some bad luck. You know what I mean? There was some bad luck in there, some poor calls, some bad
poor play.
Yep, and for sure. Yep, and to be where you're at right now, got to be feeling good about yourself, man. So I'm super happy for these dudes. And now you got an important game versus a Dallas team who, yes, once again, you're going to be able to put a team out of their misery. Just put the stake in them, but be done with it. And you go ahead and do that, and you're going to be feeling really great about yourself. I'm excited to be up there. I know that a lot of people are excited to be going, so that's going to be a great time.
Well, just to talk a little bit more about Owen Wolff, man. Adding another 2 goal contributions last night. You mentioned it earlier in the episode, right? 8 contributions over his last 7 games. And last night, 32 of 34 passing. Created 3 chances. Won 5 duels. Those stats courtesy of the communications staff. I went a bit deeper historically because, and I still want to go back and look at some other Owen Wolff stats here, but in terms of players in Austin FC history, again, it's 5 seasons. So like, this list will grow over time. But to this point, Owen Wolff is now one of 3 players who have 5 goals and 6 primary assists in an MLS season. Again, we still got 6 games to go, but Owen in 2025, and then in 2022, Fagundes had 6 goals and 12 primary assists, and Driussi had 22 and 5. So, right, like, to go 5-5 with this team, we have 3 guys who have ever done that. If you're talking primary assists.
And when you brought that stat to me before we jumped on here, Owen plays more defense than both of those guys ever did. And he covers more ground than both of those guys ever did. He plays more positions, and I'm not trying to make some comparison between any of these players. I'm just citing that this kid is doing everything. He's doing everything right now. He's absolutely on fire. Yes, this is a short list, but that's what we have to work with. And it's going to continue to grow, and he's been absolutely stunning. And I mean, another team of the match, team of the week.
It's coming.
It's coming up. Like he's going to get it. So just absolutely incredible, man.
I don't know if they'll do one for the 4-game slate here. They fucking better.
Good point. Yeah,
you put half of our team out there.
Who the hell's Mateja Djordjevic?
And I'll shout out our buddy Long Cow, who came up with this stat perusing this, the various sites here on our Monday. Austin FC has used the least number of players in MLS this season with 22. And that includes the debuts of Djordjevic and Torres this season last night. So, and I think the next closest team has played 24 players. So we were 4 players back. And again, that it just makes me I'm looking forward to this roster being fully fleshed out, which again could be multiple years from now, because what I'm talking about is you have your supplemental slots full, not just of veterans on cheap deals or anything like that, but we've got legit homegrown talent that comes through the academy, the second team, and is filling that, and that we have the comfortability to play 27, 28, 30 guys in a season, a full roster.
Yeah.
You know, like that is an achievable goal. You don't need that to win an MLS Cup. I think when Philly went to MLS Cup last in 2022, I think they played the least amount of players, I think. But that was an interesting stat. So thanks to Long for that. And something that's a data point to keep in mind in future seasons, you know, when we get around this point of the season.
Absolutely, man.
So I think that's all I got on this, man. That was a lot, but I think, again, well-deserved, because we should, as fans, I feel like we should take advantage of the good times that we're having at a part of the calendar where we have never had them before. And we still have enough time in this season to completely tarnish the way we're feeling right now. So that's why I'm taking this week to fucking enjoy it, man. That's why we talk for an hour and 15 minutes almost just about this first team game.
I'm victory lapping all week until we drive up to Frisco and get ready to see those bums.
Anything else for you on this one?
Nope.
Come on down to Farmer Field where the champions play. Get ready for the game. It's Lost Business Day.
Last business day here on episode 254 of the North End podcast. So we had that weird 3 p.m. Central kickoff time there on Friday out there in Minnesota, in Blaine, Minnesota, at the National Sports Center up there. Before we get into this match, I did want to note that Austin FC2 on Thursday announced that Peter Davis has been hired as the team's new goalkeeping coach ahead of the final 5 matches of the regular season. So Davis most recently was the goalkeeping coach for Oakland Roots, which is where our boy Bobasi is at now. In 2023, he coached goalkeeper Paul Blanchette, as Blanchette was named to the USL Championship All-League second team and won Oakland's Player of the Year award. He also spent 2 seasons with New Mexico United before he was at Oakland Roots. So welcome to Coach Davis. And of course, that came because Coach Galan went back to Spain. We elevated Coach Sorrow from the second team to the first team, and now Coach Davis here filling in that slot with the second team. Another note, out at the pitch, and we aren't home again until next Friday. But on Thursday of this week, Popstroke, which is a mini golf company owned by Tiger Woods and I think some other like golf company, they will be taking over full operations at the pitch because there is now a mini golf course out there. So, I mean, that's added attractions. Maybe we can go out there and play some mini golf before a FCTO game or something here to close the year. I think it's only a good thing on paper for the pitch to get some more action, because we know that, you know, some of those bars and stuff have been closing down over the last calendar year. So to kind of revitalize it here, or at least have an attempt at it, that's good to build that area up around the second team's games.
I've never not had a good time at the pitch.
True.
I've never not had a good time. It's been awesome there. You get the pitchers of beer for $16, which is a nice, refreshing way to not spend $100 on Michelob Ultra.
Yep. So getting into this one, Minnesota was also a little shorthanded. They had 5 personnel changes. So I don't think a single player I mentioned on Wednesday's preview actually suited up and started this one for the Loons. Look, Masanvi was out there, right? That's one of the first team assets that they have that we saw at the pitch earlier in the season when these two teams met. Also, of course, a shorthanded Austin FC2 side with no Irvin Torres, Tony Gomez, or Michael Burton. And 4 changes for Austin in the lineup. Grogan up top. Vlad was out there too, so you get both of the strikers in this lineup. Diego Abarca in for Jimmy. Chuy Moreno in on the back line. And Charlie Farrar got back in the net for Marcus Alstrup. So starting this one off, you would have had some rage watching this one because you see number 91 Dorsey out there at the top for the Loons. That is Griffin Dorsey's younger brother, and he tried to chip Charlie Farah from long distance here in the 6th minute, but the ball had so much backspin, it lands in the 6 and dies. So we averted an early crisis there. And then I kind of clocked Austin as the early aggressors overall. They had 2 corners in the first 8 minutes. A good bit of time rather spent in and around that Loons 2 18-yard box. And I had 2 notes about this match overall. First of all, the head ref was a giant. This guy was at least 6'6", dude. Like, and watching him run around out there on the pitch, like towering over Diego Abarca, who's got to be like 5'7". Like, it was noticeable right away. And they also had, like, this was a turf field up there in Blaine, Minnesota, but they had these, like, fresher is the only thing I can think of, because there's like very green patches of turf, squares of turf on the corners for the corner kicks, which I don't think I'd seen that before. It was almost like a golf thing there, where you're gonna like hit, you're practicing your chips there or something. Anyways, 15th minute, Austin pressuring very high at the field, being very aggressive on the defensive side of the ball to start this one. And I noted that it looked like Vlad Danchutu was kind of playing left wing to Peter Grogan's just straight up striker there at the 9. And in the 23rd minute, Peter Grogan does what he does, picks up a yellow card. And then in the 43rd minute, man, Charlie boots a goal kick long, and it bounces once just over midfield, then is headed backwards by Fletcher. Grogan and Niang come together to challenge for it. And Grogan clips Niang up high. He's shown a second yellow for the foul, sent off. And he's upset. And, like, you can be upset at yourself, brother, because, like, this is absolutely a yellow.
Yeah.
And not what you want to see. Like, I like watching this kid play.
Yeah.
And the last couple of months, it's just been it's been pretty dismal from a disciplinary standpoint, right? And, like, I've speculated that the coaching staff is getting on him about that. And this is just it's not a good look, man.
It's not a good look. I mean, he's got 4 yellows and 2 reds and 1,000 minutes played, man. Like, I was right there with you when we brought him on. It was last year, I believe, right? He came in like
late in the season,
midway
summer window,
late or something
which
like
is
that.
Late
I was like,
in the next.
This kid's got potential. He looks like he can do it, but man, you can't put your team in these types of situations, dude. You just can't. It just cannot happen, and it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're out there playing with 10 men against 11, you're in a rough spot, and like to get thrown out from the striker position multiple times, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's not acceptable. It's just really not. So I hope that he can just like clear this stuff up, man, because he's got 5 goal contributions and 6 cards.
Yep. So I essentially right after the red, it's 3rd minute of stoppage here. I think there was 4 given, but Minnesota whips a ball in from that left side of the 18, and it skips in front of net and tapped home by Dorsey. So Dorsey dings the Austin franchise again here. Then in the second half, Jacobaro picked up a yellow in the 53rd. You had a triple change for Austin in the 63rd that brought Chesla, Ruzel, and Chris Avila on for Riley Thomas, Adrian Gonzalez, who both of those guys, again, Riley Thomas was with the first team as well. So we did, jumping back into first team talk, we did have a full bench last night out there in KC. Abarca also came off in that 63rd minute. Areja comes on for Chuy Moreno in the 81st. In the 86th, Charlie cradled a deflected shot off of a free kick, and he boots it long towards both Vlad and Chris Avila, and Danchutu is able to head it off the bounce over a Minnesota defender. Chris Avila gets there before the Minnesota keeper, but he tries to chip him, and the keeper gets a deflection, and the danger died out. And that was kind of all she wrote there for Austin. Dangerous chances. In stoppage time, though, Mo Badawia comes in for Jorge Alistue in the 1st minute of stoppage, and in the 2nd minute of stoppage, Austin is pushed all the way up on a corner. Minnesota clears it away. They get out on a break. Ruben Bonachera goes to ground, takes out the guy on a breakaway. He gets a straight red card. Can't argue much about that, but like not having Peter, not having Bonachera, going up to Tacoma to take on the Defiance this Friday is not what you want to see. But at the same time, both the first and second teams are getting some big names back from the break this weekend. So like second team will get Torres and Gomez and Burton and Jimmy and Gonzalez back, right? But you're going to be down Ruben and you're going to be down Grogan. And the way things, again, like we don't have the weekly pressers with Coach Utley. We don't have injury reports, at all from the second team. But with 4 regular season games left, man, I would be a little bit surprised to see Peter get another start, I think, the rest of the season. Like, I think this is going to put him in the doghouse, at least to that extent. You only have two straight up, center forwards there with him and Vlad, but I don't know, man. I think it's Vlad's job the rest of the way here.
You just can't be doing this to your own team.
Yeah, you can. Hurting the team.
And now Austin FC 2 is out of the playoff line. You're behind the playoff line now. You're under there. Obviously, this Tacoma team is down in the dumps, but like, good Lord, look at their plus minus. What a crazy fucking team they got going here. 52 goals for, 59 conceded. So, like, it's going to be a wild matchup and one that you're going to have to get here because, like you said, we're winding down with these games. And these moments where you get thrown out in the first half of the game are huge and impactful. Yep. So I would not be surprised either if Peter Grogan was in the doghouse for the remainder of the season.
So two more things to tidy up here on episode 254E. Academy seasons got underway, so shout out to the club for the expanded coverage here, putting out a graphic with the goal scorers. We get a little mini article here so you can see, if you're watching on the YouTube, that the U13s 4-0 shutout win over AC River. Goals from Alex Leyva, a brace from Antonia Quiroga, and a goal from, I think you say, Jayan Zardes, I think. So I apologize to the young Zardes if I'm mispronouncing his first name, but I was telling you before we started, man, I think it would be super fucking cool if the Zardes family stuck around Central Texas and we got the next Zardes at Austin as a homegrown. Like, I would love that just from a storyline standpoint, but also if he can help us at the 9, like, come on, brother. I don't know if we got, 4 or 5 years to wait here, but it was cool to see Zardes pop up for the U13s, man.
That was very cool, and that would be fun if he's able to stay here. Obviously, a long way to go, but glad to see him on the score sheet here, and they just seem like a great family overall. Yeah. G's always been just a class act, a fantastic human being.
I mean, he was nice to us when we saw him. His wife was nice to us when we were like, Zardes.
Whoa.
We love Zardes.
We love Zardes.
U14s, dominant 6-0 victory over AC River. Alexander Kilpatrick and Braden Ray each bagged braces, while Oliver Hamady and Donovan Dolan added goals to complete the 6-0 victory. Then we had the older guys going to take on Houston Dynamo. U15s take down the Dynamo 3-1. Toby Trujillo scored the opening goal before Walter Lazo gets a brace in the second half to get the win. U16s and U18s both fall 2-0 in their opener. But again, it is the season opener, so young guys can't get too high off this one. Older guys can't get too low. Long way to go here in the 2025 season. We'll be paying attention.
Absolutely.
Last thing here, Los Verdes watch party. We are on the road again on Saturday, taking on FC Dallas. So if you are staying in Austin for this one and want to go check out a Los Verdes watch party this Saturday, the event will start at 6:30. Kickoff of this match is at 7:30, and the party is getting started at Central Machine Works there, 4824 East Cesar Chavez here in Austin. Open to all ages. Central Machine Works is dog friendly. The game will be shown on Central Machine Works indoor projector and not on the outdoor screen for this party, but there's plenty of seating inside. We've been over there before. Love Central Machine Works. You got a small lot that's accessible off of 5th Street, an even smaller lot in front of Central Machine Works off Cesar Chavez, but there's plenty of nearby street parking over there. Full kitchen and bar, offering more than beer on site. And shout out to KP, because we definitely sympathize with having to use FC Dallas, the government name, as KP put it, instead of fuck Frisco. But look, it is Frisco week, my friends, so we will be back on Thursday of this week. We'll give ourselves the extra day to let the good vibes marinate. And then we are, Copateas is out of our reach, but we have 3 straight matches coming up where we will have firsts on the menu. Our first road win at Frisco, our first semifinal win, advancing to the Open Cup, first time hosting a final if we can do that. And then Seattle comes to town Sunday the 21st, and we have never beat Seattle at home. Okay. So you just have we got more items to tick off the checklist here. but we're going to take 3 days and enjoy this win streak here in the month of September. Anything else for you, my friend, before we shut it down?
No, sir.
All right, everybody, we appreciate you tuning in, sticking with us here on a nearly 90-minute episode of the North End Podcast. Like I said, we are back on Thursday to preview that match against Frisco, to preview the second team's match against Tacoma, and to talk about everything else that happens in the Austin FC universe between now and then. Enjoy the beginning of your week, everybody. You know we'll do the same, and we'll see you back here on Thursday for another episode. Until then, he's E, and I'm Zach. Vamos Austin FC, everybody. Victory song.
Welcome to the North End where the passion's running high. We're here to talk football, Austin FC, our pride. ZG and E will take you on this ride. Week by week, side by side. It's Action 1, 2, 3, we're the rowdiest in town. The Pirates game and Uncle Dave and Big Fudge all around. We sing our songs, we chant as one. Through thick and thin, the match day's just begun. In the North End, we stand together. Through every game, through any weather. From the first whistle to the final blow, the North End will never let go. In the lights of Q2, our home, our sacred ground. In green and black, we fight, our voices loud and proud. Trio sees magic, Bacardi speed, Stuva saving grace. With every goal we score, the lights turn Verde, it's our place. So knows the mastermind, building our dream. Dan rules everything around me, as he strengthens our team. Let roll